After going through this video, you will be able to call a function by reference. So far, the way we have been passing arguments to a function is known as call by value. For example, we have this code in which we have a function add1 which increases the value of the variable passed to it by 1. The function takes a variable as argument $n and increments it by 1 and returns it. When we call this function, we pass a value to it and expect a value back that we store back in the variable. The return value is expected to be incremented by 1. So, here we take a variable $num that initially stores 0 and pass it to the function and store the returned value in the same variable $num, which now becomes 1 and we print it. This is a fairly simple code, right? But if we modify our code a bit, like remove the return statement from the function, or simply do not store the returned value, it would not change the value of $num and would print 0 instead. This is because when we pass a variable to a function, a duplicate copy of the variable is created. Changes to one of the copy inside the function doesn't affect the second copy outside the function. So any changes made in the function have to be explicitly returned and stored back in a variable outside. We have already learned the variables have different scope. So in PHP, we have one more way to pass arguments to a function that is known as call by reference. Here, if you notice, we have added an ampersand before the variable name in the argument of the function. So now when we pass a variable to this function, it will not create a duplicate copy. Rather, the argument will point to the variable. Any change to the argument will automatically affect the variable being passed. We will not require to return the changed value and store it back outside. So here we increment $n from 0 to 1. $num also changes to 1 and this code would print 1 despite the function not returning the incremented value. So to pass a variable by reference, we simply need to add an ampersand before the variable name in the argument of the function. It will not create a duplicate copy and will simply point to the same variable being passed. Any change to the argument inside the function will change the value of the variable being passed to it. Well, that was all in the video. Up next is a quiz. All the best.